Father, open the eyes of our hearts, that we might behold wondrous things here in your word. We've come now in the story to the final hours of Jesus' life. This is the night before he is crucified. He has a big supper with all of his closest friends. And after the supper, at some point, he tells his disciples, "Little children, yet a little while I'm with you. You will seek me, and just as I said to the Jews, so now I also say to you, where I am going, you cannot come." A little while later, Simon Peter said to him, "Lord, where are you going?" And Jesus answered him, "Where I am going, you cannot follow me now, but you will follow afterward." And then starting in John chapter 14, verse 1, Jesus explains a little bit more about where he's going. So let's read that together. John 14:1, Jesus says, "Let not your hearts be troubled. Believe in God. Believe also in me. In my Father's house are many rooms. If it were not so, would I have told you that I go to prepare a place for you? And if I go and prepare a place for you, I will come again and will take you to myself, that where I am, you may be also. And you know the way to where I am going." Thomas said to him, "Lord, we do not know where you are going. How can we know the way?" Jesus said to him, "I am the way, and the truth, and the life. No one comes to the Father except through me. If you had known me, you would have known my Father also. From now on, you do know him and have seen him." So when Jesus starts to explain where he's going, he starts by talking about his Father's house. And he says this is a place that has many rooms in it. And he's going to go to that place, to his Father's house, and he's going to make a place there for you. He's talking to his disciples, those who follow him. A place in the Father's house. He's going to go prepare this place, and he's going to come. And when he comes again, he's going to take those who follow him to himself, so that where he is, his followers can be there with him. And then Jesus says, "And you know the way, the path, the road to get to where the destination I'm going." So you know how to get to my Father's house. You know how to get to this place. You know how to get to be where I will be. You know how to get to me, where I am. You know how to get there. That's what he tells him. And Thomas says to Jesus, "Lord, we don't actually know where. We don't know this destination. You talk about your Father's house, but we don't know where that is. If we don't know where it is, how could we possibly know how to get there, this way to get to the Father's house where you're going, to this place that you're talking about?" And Jesus said to Thomas, "I am the way." You want to go to my Father's house and be with him where he dwells, in the place where God dwells? You want to go there? You want to go there, Thomas? You want to go to this place, Thomas? You want to go to where I will be? You want to go to where I am, Thomas? I am the way to get there. Now, what does that mean? Well, imagine your favorite band is having a concert. And imagine, and this is my example, so I can make it however I want, imagine I am the drummer for your favorite band. Now, let's say that all the tickets are sold out, and there's no way for you to get into the concert. But you happen to know the drummer. And so I tell you, well, if you come with me, I can get you in. In that example, I am your way in to the concert. We could kind of make the comparison that this is how it works with Jesus. He is our way in to the Father's house. If we go with him, and if we allow him to speak on our behalf, if we go with him, we can get in. If we don't go with him, we don't get in. Jesus is making an exclusive claim that is amazing. He says, I am the way. There is only one way into the Father's house, into this place, and it's through Jesus. And then, just in case we miss it, he makes it explicitly clear by saying, no one comes to the Father except through me, the way. There's only one way to get to this place that Jesus is going, and it's through him. He is the road, the path. Now, I don't want you to get the wrong idea, because remember this, the one who is the way here, he is also the destination. See that? We don't just use Jesus in order to get into the Father's house. He is the way in, but the good thing about going to the Father's house is that Jesus is there. Remember, we can't see God, he's a spirit. But Jesus says at the very end of this passage, if you had known me, you would have known my Father also. From now on, you do know him and have seen him. So when we get to know Jesus and see Jesus, who has a body, Jesus in whom the fullness of God dwells, we get to know and see the Father, who is a spirit, who is invisible. And that's why we want to go to the Father's house and have a place in the Father's house, to see the glory of God that we can only see and only know because of Jesus and through him. So we don't just use Jesus. Jesus is both the way and the destination. It is amazing to think that this is how Jesus spends his very last hours here on earth, talking with his disciples, teaching them, explaining to them, because he longs for them this. He doesn't want their hearts to be troubled. And so he takes pains to explain these things to them. And I pray that as we think about this amazing passage, our hearts also would not be troubled.